Wanted to share a little story about this knife that I picked up. It's complete garbage, honestly. It's not a very good quality knife at all, but for those of you knife lovers, you might find this kind of funny. I was checking out a swap meet recently, and there's this knife booth, this guy that was selling knives and a bunch of other tactical type stuff, but all of the knives were pretty cheap knives in the $3 to $15 range. And I talked to the guy a little bit, asked him a question or two, but this guy would just not stop talking no matter what I said or did. I don't know if he just wanted me to buy something or he was just lonely, but I just could not get out of there, and I actually had somewhere to be, so I finally just broke down and just had to buy a knife so that I could leave, because as I said, the guy he would not stop talking. He was pretty kind, he wasn't being rude or anything, but I don't think he realized that I had somewhere to be. And the funny thing is, there were other customers coming up into the booth, his little area, his shop there, and they were asking him questions and asking the other person that worked there questions, and he wasn't really paying attention to them because I guess he just wanted to talk about knives with me. But you know, it was pretty funny. So I bought this knife. It's a cheap little assisted opening knife, you know, 440 stainless steel. It's got a real cheap coating on the blade. The lockup is not tight at all. The liner lock in there is extremely thin. The spring's actually pretty aggressive when you open up the knife. I mean, for such a cheap knife, it was $5. But I wouldn't carry this thing if my life depended on it. Probably. I mean, I know some people don't have the money to buy really nice knives, but this was kind of I'm just going to keep this knife kind of to remember the story. You can see the blade centering is way off on this thing. Not centered at all. And I tried to adjust it a little bit, but didn't really help much. But I kind of wanted to share that story with you guys. It's got these cheap fake wood handles, and the funniest thing is the guy thought that his knives were just the best in the world. He said, "Man, I've never had one of my knives brought back to me. You know, I guarantee all my products." And I just thought to myself, who would want to pay to go back into the swap meet to return a $5 knife when it costs $3 to get into the swap meet? So, I mean, I would return this one, but I'm not rude like that, and I don't want to make the trip back out there just to return this knife. It costs too much money in gas. But just thought it was funny when he said that. I mean, who's going to walk back into a swap meet, pay them to get back in, and return a $5 knife? They're just going to throw it out their window of their car when they're driving home. So anyways, that was just kind of a funny story.